incident was about to take place that would shake the foundations of the civilized world.
It is time to open your mind. Time to discover your divine self as we navigate this holographic matrix together. Strap in, cosmic family, as we slide through this wormhole of cosmic information together in search of the truth. The truth.
You can't handle the truth.
It's time to go inside the matrix.
Inside the Matrix.
With your host, Jimmy Brent.
All right, welcome everybody. Hope you're having an excellent day today. Today's guest is Bonnie Serratore. She is a spiritual accelerator. She helps people accelerate or speed up their personal healing, growth, and spiritual development. Bonnie accelerates the liberation of our authentic, true, and divine self. She does so by removing and clearing unwanted foreign energy from all time and space. These things interfere with the expression of our divine self. Everything Bonnie Serratore knows, she has learned through direct experience in her own life, as well as from working with her clients and students. She has not studied or trained with any teachers, living or dead, and does not use spirit guides or any trance-inducing tools. She relies on nothing but her own inner knowing and the energy of the white light of creation. Although she was born with these abilities, she has developed her intimate connection with her higher self and the light through her profound personal experiences. She lived alone in the deserts of Arizona for 4 years, speaking to almost no one. There, she expanded her skills and burned through much of her own interference and ego. Wow. Welcome, Bonnie.
Thank you, Jimmy. It's great to be here.
Yeah, it's great to have you. And it's so nice to reconnect after all these years. Bonnie and I met many years ago here in Las Vegas. And it's really great to reconnect and see what you're up to these days.
Yeah, it's been a while. And for me too, to see you and what you're up to is pretty cool, like really cool.
Okay, great. Okay, I always ask new guests on the show to kind of take us back a little bit through your history. You know, where were you born? What part of the world? How were you raised? You know, what got you to where you are now? So if you could kind of give us a bit of background, that would be awesome.
Yeah. I was actually born in what's Cupertino, but you have to keep in mind this was a long time ago, so it was all orchards back then. But basically, I can't remember a time in my life when I did not know that there were other energies that we couldn't see with our eyes. I was always experiencing discarnates in my room, and they were moving my belongings for real, you know, and. And so I was always, there was something about that always intrigued me. I thrived on it. And then I remember as I kept growing and talking to my grandmother and my aunts, and my grandmother was Lakota Sioux, and she was actually born on the reservation in Tuolumne. So she, just being Native American, she had a lot of deeper connections. But what's interesting is she never told us. She never told us that. So we didn't find out till like after she died. But anyway, so in my world, growing up, not only did I know there were other spirits, but I started doing things, actually with my grandmother, we started doing things in the spirit realms. We would have the neighbor kids come over, and we would do really cool things like put your hands on top of the table and lift the table. We'd actually do it with people, and it was working, and we were connecting with these beings. And then when I was in my 20s, in the 70s, and I actually started connecting with spirits again and opened up to all kinds of really intense stuff, experiences, and it got really dangerous. So really bad things started happening because we didn't know what we were dealing with. And I shut that all down. And then, I mean, it's always been a part of my life, Jimmy. It's like, when I was a teenager, we used to go looking for ghosts because we'd hear these ghost stories of, oh, there's a ghost on Highway 17, she got killed, and she'll show up. And so we would go looking. But basically, what happened for me, though, is in my 30s, I actually started opening up and developing my psychic abilities differently with intention, and then from there I just took off. That was it. I just started seeing people, and I started tracking their energy, and I started seeing that everybody's the same, only different. It's just everyone's got their own story, but the frequency in their bodies was still the same. Wounding is wounding, anger is
Right.
anger, sadness is sad, grief is grief, despair is despair. It's all the same. And then so here's my training on entity removal. So I read this book, The Unquiet Dead. This was way back in the 80s, like 1984 or something, or maybe 86. But that's where I saw this woman. It was she was doing. She had her clients, and then she would do these regressions or whatever. I can't remember what it was, but she would start talking to these beings, and my whole body, I knew. So I bought a book on hypnosis, and all I wanted was, how do you take them under? And then from there, I started working with people, doing releasing discarnates, and that became huge. And then I opened up my healing center. It was called the Renaissance Center, that I had for 13 years. It was a full-on healing center, a lot of emotional work, shamanic work. We had thousands of people coming, and I closed that down in 2004, and then in 2006, at the end of 2004, and then about a year and a half later, I went into the desert for 4 years and continued to go deeper into my own self. And also that's where I really got anchored into what I'm doing now. Prior to that, it was a lot of the emotional stuff, go really deep, unravel the emotions. Now it's like we can clear. It doesn't matter what it is. I don't care what the issue is. We can clear it, clear it by clearing the energy and all the interferences. And this is also where I really discovered the massive, unbelievable amount of interferences and the different variations of interferences. In fact, people would be going, yeah, right, this woman's nuts, But it's true.
Only if they don't know.
But if you could see what I see, you'd be blown away, okay? Yeah. So that's really the journey, and it's been a long journey, and it's been a really intense journey, and a very full journey, and helping literally thousands and thousands of people change their lives for the better, which is really, there's nothing better than that in my world. So, yeah, that's kind of it in a nutshell. But again, I got kids, I got grandkids, and and I live in Colorado, and
the normal stuff too.
The normal stuff, yeah, yeah, the normal stuff, yeah. My kids happen to grow up with me, yeah.
Well, that's quite a gift. I hope they realize it, because most people have nowhere near the awareness that you do. And I think a major part of our cultural norms tell us that that's all woo-woo kind of out there stuff. But those of us who have experienced things like this know that it's absolutely valid, and that we're not alone in this world. There's plenty of entities, beings, whatever you want to call them out there, that are right next to us. We can't see them physically because they're in a different frequency spectrum than we can actually pick up with our normal vision. But people like you who have that inner vision, you can actually see them. And what a tremendous gift that is.
Yeah. I mean, I think for me personally, the ability to see things is what's really propelled me in the work that I do. I mean, it's not that I hear, I see, I smell, I taste, all of that, but my main thing is clairvoyant, the sight. And, so even people that are training with me, they still learn how to open up their sight or whatever skill, however they receive their information. You can still do amazing work. You don't have to see. But for me, it just accelerated everything. It's like, boom, what is that? Well, oh, there it is. Go. And yeah.
So some people might have a hearing where they hear things, right?
Yes.
And then some people may feel it, just, have that tactile, not necessarily tactile, but a certain feel to things where that helps them guide. So everybody is a little different in how they can have extrasensory perception, because there's not just one way.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And some people, I mean, truthfully, Jimmy, everyone is born with senses, everyone. And we start to close them down as we start growing up, as little children. Like for example, here's a cool thing. Like when this is way back, I was probably not even early 20s. And my niece, she was like 2 years old, talking. and I wasn't into doing what I'm doing now. And back then, she had these chickens, and they'd be, if we sat on the couch, and she'd freak out, like get upset. We're sitting on her chickens, and we thought it was so cute. Okay, so here she is, 2 years old. Well, 16 years later, I'm doing a clearing on her, and I'm going in, and there's this being in there, and it was the little boy. Let me just tell you the story. But this little boy, he was the one who gave her the chickens. So what happened was,
Oh, wow.
when my niece was like we lived out in the country, so we had chicken, all those stuff. So my niece. When the boy, what happened was is he was walking. He was a little mentally retarded, and he was walking he wasn't supposed to be on the road. Well, he got hit by a car, and what he told me through my niece was he walked home and his mom was crying, and then policemen came and they wouldn't talk to him. That's because he was dead, okay? So he got chicken spirits, and he just went ahead and brought them he found my niece, who was a little, like 2 years old, gave her the chickens if he could come into her body. And he did. And so when I did this, she totally forgot about that. Here she is, 18 years old, and I'm doing this with her. She started sobbing. She started crying because she totally remembered. So,
wow.
It's like, yeah, I mean, it was such a powerful thing, but for me back then, how cute, yeah, she's got chickens, we can't see them. But my point is everybody's intuitive, everyone's got the senses until they start closing them down. And then they have to reawaken them, or some people don't close them down, and then some people are afraid of what their gift. So it's
sure.
Interesting. Yeah.
And I think a lot of families, close it down in their kids. They may think, if a child is saying, well, I'm talking with my friend, my invisible friend, and oh, how cute that is. But then when they get a little older, they say, oh, no, come on, you're just making that up. Forget about all that stuff. And eventually they get it programmed out of them.
Right.
And they lose contact with their ability. And I think that happens more often than not because, in our society, although it is changing somewhat now, it's becoming a little bit more acceptable. People are raising their consciousness a bit. But by and large, the families and the way they raise their kids did not instill in them that awareness that there are other beings, entities, spirits, whatever you want to call them or refer to them as, that exist.
Right.
So
yeah, it's true.
Yeah, and then I think also, there's different. Let's talk about the different types of attachments, whether they're entities or cords. I know there's a bunch of different things, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Okay, so let me just give you a little bit of what I deal with on a regular basis. Even doing group clearings, personal, it doesn't matter. Okay,
Right.
So I can tell you straight up, everybody's got discarnates in them. There's everybody, okay? There's not anybody. I scan the world all the time. There's only a handful, and these people are more awake. But everyone in the world, other than maybe 5 people, have discarnates. And I'm not talking 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. I'm talking your issues, whatever they are, you're going to have discarnates attached to that, okay? Mm-hmm. So you've got the discarnates. Then you've got implants. And unfortunately, we've got implants not just from alien beings. We've got implants from the government, from the military, and from what I call the 1%ers, the owners of the world. The people that got the billion trillionaires, the ones
Right.
who own the world. Okay.
The ones they think they own us too.
Yeah. Them. And Jimmy, it's astounding what they do, okay? So there you got the implant thing, which is crazy because implants, they can be tracking you for lifetimes, the aliens ones, and putting implants in you just for scientific research to see, okay, if we do this, what'll happen here? So some people have been tracked for lifetimes, so that's all the implant stuff. Then we have dark force interference, and with that we've got things like like dark lords, and we've got satanic stuff. We have black magic, we have voodoo, witchcraft, sorcery, all in the dark stuff, not the light. We've got evil frequencies that appear to our dimension that I deal with. And we've got negative. So we've got on the astral planes, we have people that are mortal enemies to some people, or other people that are casting curses and spells and different kinds of different things to, to hurt people, to stop them, to block them, to cause harm. Then we've got all your beliefs and conclusions. And what that does is, like, you have an experience. Like, for example, everyone can relate to this. You fall in love when you're, younger in your life. You fall in love, you break up, or your heart gets broken. Then you go, oh, that hurt. I'm not going to open my heart ever again. Okay, that's a conclusion.
Sure.
But people anchor that in, and pretty soon they do close the heart. They do, protect the heart, and that's a conclusion that becomes a belief. And then all these beliefs. So then we got all these beliefs and conclusions in the subconscious. We've got discarnates in your subconscious. We've got the victims from your past lives, the people you tried to save. We've got the people that want to hurt you, the people that love you, that are attached to you. You've got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of discarnates in the subconscious. And then we got all your past life stuff and everything you've done. When we deal with people that, I have these people all the time, Jimmy, that are such beautiful, sweet people, and they're like, wow, my life isn't working, I'm got health issues, I got no money, and it just goes on and on. I go, well, let me take a look here. And I go back, and sure enough, they got involved heavily, deeply into the satanic stuff, and they were doing soul capturing, soul annihilation, soul devouring, soul torturing. And so we have to unravel all of that. And Jimmy, it just goes on, and I'm telling you. And then we got creatures, and we got, with the dark force stuff, you got agreements with the powers of darkness. If you ever did things where you made a pact or an agreement or agreed to something or called upon the powers of darkness, that's it. You're not set free. I mean, we have to do unraveling to clear you from that and release you from that. So. And then he's got all his minions. There's all the minions as well that are doing service to that. And I mean, it's just crazy. I'm serious. People go, oh yeah, I got an eating disorder. Oh, okay, let me check that out. Oh my goodness. Okay, we got all this past life stuff. You got these other agreements and contracts we have to unravel. I mean, it goes very deep. Not everybody understands or knows, what we're doing, because we don't have to tell them everything we're doing. But at the same time, it's a deep, profound unraveling. And that's why, Jimmy, this work, there's nothing like it in the entire world. This work is the most profound, deepest, permanent, fastest healing modality anywhere. And I've been involved in this work for like 34 years now. And, I've got people all over the world. I've got, students everywhere. And it's like, wow, there's nothing like this. People are blown away. So, but that's because of the depth. If you find all the pieces, and I teach people how to find the core, where does this come from? Where does this originate from? Who's causing this? Did they call this in? So it's always that kind of stuff. And then we've got all the stuff in this lifetime where, you got enmeshment, you got your mother's in your body, or your emotional energy in the body. So we clear emotional energy out of people. When you got someone's emotional energy in you, you can't let go. Like, think about people who are in relationship, they break up, and, a couple years later, 5 years later, they're still dreaming about and wondering if they should have ended it, and it just goes on. And then, but you clear the energy of the partners, take them out of each other, and it's a complete game changer, So it's big, Jimmy. It's like deep,
yeah, I'll say
deep.
It takes somebody, Bonnie. I'm so impressed, because it takes somebody really, really powerful to deal with this stuff, because I'm sure you get some pushback from some of these entities when you try and get them out of there, because they're living high in the hog, and however they're
yeah. Oh
right?
yeah. Oh yeah. It gets pretty wild. What's cool though, Jimmy, this is what's beautiful. See, because I work with the light and always have, I have tools, like I have the white netting that when I cast it, I don't care what it is, they can't get out of it. And if I have like really evil things, evil beings, or people really wanting to cause harm, or wanting to insisting on hurting the person I'm working with, I'll cast the netting around them. I'll throw them right down into eternal darkness, leave them there for about 3 seconds, pull them back up, ask them again, And by then, even 3 seconds, so, because it's like you don't even want to know what that's like. But they come up and they're all ravel, their whole being's like, like traumatized. And it's like, yeah, what do you want? I'm done.
Uncle.
So, and I don't care how badass they think they are. I don't care how wicked, evil, even the evil frequencies. I'm telling you, it doesn't matter, man. It's like, it's true. You got to be kind of like, yeah, this is just, it's what I do. It's like I'm not afraid, but I'm not afraid because when I was younger, we had really intense things happening. We had, like one time, Jimmy, my sister and my sister-in-law, we were sitting in her room, and the wallpaper on the wall started creating like these demonic faces. And I mean, this is back then when remember I said earlier that we had all these really scary things starting to happen. That was during that time. Yeah, so, I've dealt with and had all kinds of really intense experiences. But here's what happened for me, Jimmy, just to back up. Back in, what was it, the late 80s, in the late 80s, yes. I was like the big fish in a little pond, and I lived in Auburn, California, and I became very well known. And so I didn't want to, everybody I knew was a client. So my nights, I'd be home at night, Friday night, Saturday night, or whatever, and I would go traversing all this stuff, all this blackness, all the darkness, all the evil, just to see. I wanted to know, can it hurt me? Yeah, it can hurt my physical body, but who I am, it cannot. And the truth is, it cannot touch anybody in the core of who they are, that divine light. Once I got that, that was it.
That's empowering, right?
That was it. Game over.
Got a quick question. We've only got maybe 3 minutes for the break here, but Beatrix, I guess, is asking you, are you able to tune into a person and see what their main intuitive gift is, especially if they are closed down or do not perceive it themselves?
Yeah, I mean, I can look at, I'm looking at her right now. She's got major veils all over her. Wow, okay. So when I look at her, hang on a second, I'm going to go right through the veils because I can. I'm going to bypass the veils. I'm going to see what her, she's definitely got clairvoyant. She's also empathing. That's, the empathing is a little blocked as well. A lot of negative, dark stuff is happening in her energy field. Yeah, she's, okay, there's all kinds of, like I said, there's like veils all around her. So there's a major interference going on for her. But basically, just to answer the question, yes, her intuitive gift is, she's got the clairvoyant, definitely.
Wow, that's exciting. And it's just that quick. You can tune into somebody and
Jimmy, the moment someone opens their mouth, I'm already tracking, okay?
Or you just, not only that, if you hear their name, right? Because it has a signature with it too, right?
You don't have to give me their name. All you got to do is start talking about them. I got it.
Wow. That is so incredible. That's mind-boggling and awesome. So, we're going to be talking about your event a little later on. Because I want people that are able to come to Las Vegas or in Las Vegas later this week, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, to be sure and have time to go to your seminar, because that's going to be an amazing thing, and I think it's going to change a lot of lives. And, we'll definitely be talking about that. Yep. Let's see, we've got we're down to about the last minute. I always wonder. You said that everybody in the world is pretty much,
inundated
with
this
stuff, right?
Yes.
Oh, yes. This should be the type of thing that is taught everywhere, because imagine what a world we'd have if we had many more gifted people like that, like you. Oh
my goodness, yeah, game changer.
Okay, you're listening to Inside the Matrix. It's time for us to take a short pause here. We're talking with our special guest, Bonnie Serratore. And we'll be back in just a little bit, so stick around with us or pop in the chat and give us a question.
Your ambassador to the unknown and host of Inside the Matrix, Jimmy Brent.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We're with Bonnie Serratore, and we're having a good old time. So anyway, we had a question from the chat room. And the question is, when someone does soul capturing and devouring, what happens to the one that they devoured?
All right, great questions. Okay, I'm going to give both. I'm going to talk about the soul capturing. That's different than soul devouring. Soul capturing is when someone has been trained in the arts, the dark arts, and they can literally capture a soul when it leaves the body. Usually they kill the person and then they take the soul and capture it, and the soul gets bound up and they put it in a box for real. And I can tell you right now, straight up, in this lifetime, when I lived in Las Vegas, Nevada, where Jimmy is, I literally had a client that that had been involved with some people that had done soul capturing. They showed him a box. They showed him two beings that were captured in the box. So what happens is, So what happens is, when I'm unraveling that, what I do is I find however many people that they've done the soul capturing with, and then if it's a lot, then I'm going to only open up a few at a time. But what I do is I'm going to release I'm going to open up the boxes, release the souls. But what I also do is I clear them of trauma, shock, horror, all that, and then I help them to not want retribution, revenge, all that good stuff. So it's over. Then I accelerate them so they move forward in their soul's evolution. That sets them free. Now, when a person does soul devouring, what they have done is at the moment of death of the body that they're going to absorb, they literally are pulling that soul energy into their energy field, into their body. So they're pulling in the soul of someone else. Now, it doesn't mean that they get the entire soul, but if whether they do or not doesn't matter. They're still taking on and pulling the soul energy. So what happens is, when I'm clearing that from people that did the soul devouring, I can tell immediately if someone's done it, because I can see the spots. It presents. There's a certain frequency, a certain visual that happens with soul devouring. And what I do is I literally start pulling all that frequency, all that soul energy out of that physical body. And I find their higher levels and their soul, the higher consciousness, their super consciousness, and then I reconnect them with their own soul. And then I also release them. Again, I release any trauma, shock, crisis, wanting revenge, all that good stuff. And then the person, we release them from the grips of the dark forces. We unravel all of that. You have to unravel all of that too. In order for someone to be freed, you gotta free them. Otherwise, they'll be suffering for eternity.
So you would sort of picture somebody being bound by a rope or something, or a series of ropes, and then you're just unraveling all of that stuff, all those connections, or all that binding. Well, how do you see it though? Does it look like that? Is it, or how do those attachments and those bindings look to you when you see them?
You mean like when they're doing the dark stuff, or just
well, either way, if someone is doing the dark stuff or if they've had it done to them.
Right. Yeah. Well, what happens is there's a like, for example, like, let's go back. I was mentioning a woman that wanted help. She was great person, and she had done all that stuff. So what happens is there's a darkness in their energy field, okay? There's a certain, the darkness has a certain quality to it, a certain frequency to it. So when I see it, I know that they have done dark force stuff, or that they've been involved in the powers of darkness.
In this life or another one?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's always it carries over. Like the soul imprint carries everything into this lifetime. Gotcha. So it presents as a darkness. Okay. So when I'm unraveling it, though, what I'm doing is I actually go direct to the powers of darkness, and I have a little talk with them. And and they agree, because there's been a lot of things that have happened, Jimmy. But so when I step up and I say, hey, this is done, we're done here, then it's done. So then they release the agreements. He hands over the agreements. We put them in the white flame, the Holy Spirit, dissolve them, neutralize them, and then I do the same thing from the person. I release their agreements and contracts, and release, so that's no longer applicable. It's over. And then the unraveling of it isn't so much ropes and chains around the body as it is all the damage. See, what happens too is when we hurt someone or we cause harm, oftentimes, being a perpetrator, we're actually pulling some of that energy, some of their essence into us. So everyone who's done dark stuff, they've got lots of people inside of them. So, those start coming out. I have to release all those energies coming out of the body. I send everything into the light, let the light take care of it. And then there's all the emotional stuff, so they'll have victims in their subconscious. They'll have sometimes there'll be like demons in the subconscious, or creatures in the subconscious, or servants, from the dark forces in their subconscious. I mean, it's just like crazy what's in there. So it's really, for me, it's just about getting all the components and releasing as much as I can without traumatizing the body. Because what problem is people are identify with what's inside of them as though it's them. When you start taking all these things out, people are like, I don't know who I am. I don't know what I want. I don't know what I like. Who am I? So we don't want to, we don't want to do too much too fast, but we still want to make enough so that you start to feel different, which is what happens. And, you start getting stabilized, and then you start coming back into your body. When you're inundated with all these energies, you're not in your body. It's like it's being taken over by all these other beings and other people's emotions and traumas, all kinds of stuff. So most people aren't in their body. People are walking around not fully in the body.
Wow.
And yeah, so you got to clean out the body in order for the soul to want to come back in, or the soul essence, or pieces that are scattered everywhere. And so we clear the bodies, and then every time we clear it, we can pull more of the person back in. And then they start to feel more. Their eyes get clearer, their sight gets clearer, their mind gets clearer. It's just like, whoa. It's like, wow, new life. Who am I? But it's yeah, but it's intense. But
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, we're supposed to be here in our own body. We're meant to be here. That's what we're doing here, is being in our own physical body. And when you got all these discarnates, your thought. Oh, this is another one, Jimmy. I can tell you straight up. Almost every thought a person has is not coming from them. It's discarnates inside of them. It's other voices, other memory, all kinds of stuff. But it's crazy.
Wow. Okay, we've got a couple of questions from the chat room here.
Okay.
Christine is asking, she says, hi, I know I am getting hit with nasty stuff for decades on a lot of levels, a lot of which has already been dealt with. I have a lot of miracle healing and awakening power for myself and others, and wondering if it is still because of some kind of inner resistance to being powerful and visible, or just that my field is porous or a threat to those nasty things, and or if I am still serving others to the cost of myself.
Okay, so I'm going to backtrack a little bit. I need to take a look at her, like earlier in her life. I just want to see what she looked like then and what she looks like now, because she's saying that she's done a lot. I still see a lot of darkness, a lot of negative, like a gray energy, some black energy. She's got what is that? Okay, yeah. Oh yeah. So she's done a lot. Beautiful. Okay, yeah. So basically, there's. Okay, hang on a second. What is that? She's got in this. Okay, in the subconscious, you still have a lot of discarnates that you're on some level. You're trying to. Hang on, is she trying to protect? Yeah, you're trying to protect them, keep them safe. You need to get those out of your body. Okay, their energy frequency is a darker energy. It kind of weighs you down. You've also got some energy in the body that's not yours. Hang on, what is this? This is a major interference. Hang on. Is this dark force interference? No, what is this? What is this? She's got something in here. Okay, is this like from past lives? Yeah. Okay, you got some stuff from past lives that are affecting you right now. There's some, oh yeah, okay, hang on. There's some conclusions and beliefs of not deserving. Hang on, what is that? Not important. Yeah. Got it. Okay, she got a past life right there where she did some things where she felt like it was her fault. She caused harm. Oh yeah, it does have that quality where you're afraid of your powers. So you made a vow, some kind of vow back then. Yeah, what is that? She made a vow that not a vow. She swore to herself, I'll never do this. I'll never, whatever it was she was doing, don't need to go into detail, but what she was doing, she vowed to herself, I will never do this again. Because people were harmed. There was a lot of intense things happening, and she felt guilty and remorseful. But now she's carrying that all the way here. So even though, you got this beautiful being that can really bring her gifts to the world that are much needed, these things need to be great to clean that kind of stuff up. Go back and unravel past life stuff, and then also these discarnates that you're trying to protect and save. They're drowning you. They're pulling you down. It's like, I can see it. It's like, wow, right in that lower part of the body, that first, second chakra area. They're heavy and dense, and there's a pull. Hang on a second. What was that? Okay, hang on. Yeah. Okay, so there's something coming from underneath the body. It's almost like a little twirl, like a moving, like a little slight spinning. That energy is trying to pull these beings down, not out of the body, but pulling them down, anchoring them in you. So hang on a second. I'm going to track that. What is that? Who's doing this? Who's what? You right there. Okay. This being right here. Do you even know this? Do you know her? You do. Okay. Is this like a command? Are you working for somebody? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This is like, I knew there was some dark force interference. Yeah. This is the dark force interference thing. So they're using the discarnates inside of her to keep her stuck, keep her down, hold her back, keep her from really stepping into this world and shining her light. Yeah, so you're pretty right on, girl. It's like you're knowing pretty much what's happening. It's just a matter of finding all the different pieces and components and clearing it. And you can do it. I know you can do it.
Wow. Okay, next question is, how are the ones that are devoured or captured co-creating themselves being devoured or captured? And how can we protect ourselves?
Okay, so keep in mind, people, when a devouring happens, it's in some kind of a ritual. It isn't just like you're living in your house and all of a sudden someone's going to devour you. Now that can happen, but that's highly unlikely. So what's happening is, on some level, people, you need to remember this. We are all co-creators. We create our reality 100%, and we do it to know ourselves in all ways. So we want to know ourselves in the lightest of light and the darkest of dark. Now, not everyone's going to go to both extremes, but a lot of people do. And when you make these kinds of agreements, then the problem is you don't really get what it really means. So so when you make these agreements with these souls, okay, yeah, this lifetime, yeah, I want to know what it's like to be devoured. Okay, great. Or soul captured. Okay, great. We agree. Okay, these other people come in, they become satanic worshipers, you get involved, they find you, and then they do the soul capturing. The problem is, with soul capturing, you're not evolving. That's the problem. You're stuck. You're in that, and it could be for hundreds of years, thousands of years, millions of years. Who knows how long soul capturing has been going on? But you're stuck in that box. Okay, so with the devouring thing, it's in person, and you've made an agreement, even though you don't remember. But what happens with the devouring thing is, if they take all of your soul, then you're not going to be reincarnating. You're not gone. You're not captured like the soul and the soul capturing, but you're not like running on all your your whole soul frequency, because it's inside of somebody else. So what happens is if it doesn't take all of it, then you can still incarnate, but but every incarnation you're going to feel depleted. You're going to feel like you don't have power. It's an intense experience. But if they take all of you, then of course you're not going to be evolving like you would. That's why I do the acceleration thing. So to protect yourself, it isn't so much about protecting yourself as it is about, what have you agreed to? And, it's like, how are you going to know what you've agreed to unless you can either know yourself, or someone can help you or show you, or, teach you. So, but basically, people, one of the things I always encourage people to do is to really claim in your own body, claim your life. Like, this is your body, your life, and you need to claim sovereignty over it. But also, you might want to be checking your agreements and contracts that you've made. I mean, you may not be able to find that yourself, but you could probably find someone, like, you can go to a psychic or somebody that's an intuitive, and they can tell you if you've made any kind of agreements, of having those kind of things done. Usually you're gonna, if it hasn't happened, if you haven't gotten somehow involved, meaning, like, I've got a lot of not a lot, but I've got clients that are, their grandparents were, into Satanism and satanic rituals, and their parents as well. And I've dealt with children, adult children and their children, of the aftermath of that kind of stuff. So most people that this is going to happen to on any level, it's already in your world. It's already presented in some way. Either you're knowing somebody or hearing about somebody, or or even your own self. There's things happening that's going to, it's going to move in that direction. So if that's the case, then I would be going and getting some, release my agreements and contracts to know myself in this way. I've changed my mind, and get help and support in that. But generally by now, if, it's not real common, people. It's not that common at all. So keep that in mind as well. But it is happening. To this day, it's still happening. And
so that's something that you could work on if they went to your seminar, though, right?
We'll be working on beliefs, deep seated beliefs, conclusions, all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
All right. One more comment from Beatrix. She said, "What would be the best clearing for someone like me that is inundated with dark stuff in my energy field and veils everywhere?"
Yeah. You can. I have a team of accelerators. We call them accelerators, that can clear this kind of stuff. Anybody on my team can do it. You could probably, the thing is, I don't know other people. I don't know what other people are doing. I just know what we do, and I know what we do is very potent and powerful.
So give me your website, Bonnie.
Oh, spiritualacceleration.com.
Okay, spiritualacceleration.com.
Yeah.
And yeah, you do have a lot of bunch of practitioners on there.
Yeah.
Besides yourself.
Yeah.
So that's great to know.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're all good. They wouldn't be on the team if they weren't.
Yeah, I'm sure. It takes some training. It takes some dedication. To get there, right?
Oh yeah.
Now you also do training as well as the actual work yourself, right?
Yes. Oh yeah. We train. Well, we start from the beginning. We've got Intuitive View. And Jimmy, do you remember Rosa from Ganesha?
Yes, I do. I love Rosa.
Okay.
She is so
Rosa
awesome.
Oh my God, Jimmy, she's going to be there. She's one of my accelerators. Okay?
Oh, she's amazing.
Isn't she? Okay, so anyway, she teaches Intuitive View, which is the beginning of psychic development. And then we have Awaken the Shaman. And then that one teaches you how to move energy shamanically, okay? Psychic is different than shamans. And then we have the foundations, which is the what the work is all about. So it has all the components of, it has of the work, all the different components of the work. So there's all those segments. So yes, we have the foundations, and then we also have advanced, and we also have apprenticeship. And then we have teacher training, all kinds of stuff. So we got everything anybody would need to start from the beginning to become a powerful, potent healer if they feel the calling.
Okay, we got another question just popped up from Shanna. She's saying, I have been experiencing really intense anxiety recently. I have been working on issues with betrayal, and I'm wondering if this is what has been increasing the anxiety recently.
Okay. All right. There's still something coming in. There's still some kind of energy attacking her. Hang on a second. I'm going to look at the energy of anxiety. Okay, there it is right there in the belly, right there, anxiety. Okay, but why are these things attacking her? Who's attacking her? What's going on here? Yeah, there's some kind of attack going on here. It's an external on the astral planes. Hang on a second. Okay, so prior to, right there. Okay, now, let me check. Okay, yeah. Okay, yep. So what's happening, they've been looking for her. Oh, my goodness. Hang on a second. They've been these particular beings have been looking for her for a bit. They found her. Now they're in her energy field. Okay, I'm actually going to do an intervention here, only because this is not okay. These things want to cause major harm. Okay, let me just cast the energy right there. Stop them. Okay, I'm going to pull the energy right out of her body. See, there's something in her that they found. That's what they're after. Okay, hang on to that anxiety frequency right there. That energy casting. Pull that out. Be gone, clear. There we go. There we go. Now they're starting to move away. Yep, go. Be gone. Okay, good. All right, so that should help a little bit with her. Yeah, that's better. And even the anxiety frequency, hang on a second, let me just move a little bit more out. Right there, it goes right to the body. Right there, clear. Light. There we go. Good, 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 good. Okay, good. So that anxiety should feel a little less intense because that's what they were after, that frequency, that's how they found her, was that frequency of that anxiety. Yeah, so these guys are not good, not good. There were several of them. Just make sure they're not, okay, be gone, get out of here. Casting. Got it, off limits, be gone. Good, there we go. That's going to feel clearer around her. All right, cool.
Wow. That is so great. I love it. Yeah, it's, to hear you work like that, it seems so matter of fact for you. And we're sitting here listening to it going, how is she doing that?
Oh my God. Well, check this out, you guys. So I do free clearings. You should, if nothing else, you want to see what I do and watch me in action, do a free clearing. It's all visual. You're right there. And I have topic specific, and, go to our website and you'll find them. You can even watch them now. You know what I'm saying? Like if you wanted to see a group, I always have several free ones up so people can always take advantage.
So these are like videos where
Yes.
So they just listen to you talking, and that has the same effect then?
Oh, yeah. Because I teach people, you call me in, you'll feel me, I'll be right there with you. It doesn't matter when you listen to them, does not matter. You'll feel me right there. Boom. Just call me in and you'll feel it.
That is so cool. So that's on your...
on the website, spiritualacceleration.com.
Okay. Well, there you go, people. That's some really good referral there, so...
Yeah, and it's free. I love it,
Yeah.
Yeah,
nice.
And I try to do free stuff, Jimmy, because I know people need help, okay? So we do free stuff. I do a couple times a month on Facebook, quantum consciousness, higher level teachings. I do Q&A, do free group clearings. We also have paid group clearings. I have over 150 videos on all kinds of different topics. It's awesome.
Yeah. Are you familiar with Steve Richards at all?
No.
He's a guy who has the Aboriginal lineage in his line. I believe his grandmother was Aboriginal, and they have a whole technology. It sounds very, very similar to what you do. He calls it holographic kinetics.
Wow, nice.
But it's the system that the Aboriginals in Australia have been using for thousands of years.
Wow,
and that's anybody that has an issue. It's really fascinating to hear him talk because it's very, very similar.
Wow.
When you listen to how he works to how you work. So I think that it's probably universal. Maybe some of the names are different, the nomenclature and that kind of thing. But anyway, time is flying by. We're going to take a short pause right here on Inside the Matrix with our special guest, Bonnie Serratore. So please stick around and come back in just a few minutes. Yeah. All right, welcome back, everybody, to Inside the Matrix with our special guest, Bonnie Serratore. Bonnie is just doing amazing work today. We all feel so inspired. I'm telling you, it's great. All right, so I've got a couple more questions from the chat. So Deb Carter is saying, I'm highly intuitive, but have been unable to move forward to do my work here. I've had many memories of past lives, ritual abuse, and maybe this life, but have been discounted by many. Can you help?
Okay. All right. I was just tracking. Okay, so she has memory of past lives of ritual abuse. I'm going to go a little further back. Actually, I'm going to be asking, I just need to get a sense of, did she do any kind, yeah, she did. Okay, hang on a second. Did she do ritual abuse? Did she do any soul capturing? Yes, she did. Okay. Yeah, okay. So partly what's happening is you need to do some unraveling with the part that you did. You know what I'm saying? Like some of the soul capturing you did. You didn't do soul devouring, just mostly soul capturing. So that needs to be unraveled. Hang on a second. She got victims. Yeah, you got you got a lot of the victims inside of you as well. Some of these victims are the ones that they're victims of what you've done, but also you've got victims because of the victim frequency that don't even know you. Okay. And then you also have an interference, like you're being held and stuck held back, so to speak. So my sense with you would be, clean up all this past life stuff, and then also unravel any interferences that are stopping you, that want to stop you from really coming in and shining your light and bringing your gifts into the world, which are definitely needed now, and get that stuff unraveled. Hang on a second. Just big guns presented. Okay, what? She got agreements with you? Yeah. Okay, so you've got some promises, oath, allegiances with Lucifer, and that needs to be unraveled. Okay, so I would do that as well. So he just presented. Yeah, he presented. I didn't even call him. He just presented, showing me. So on some level, there's that. What people don't know is it was in 2004 he basically woke up. I was there when it happened. So, and now it's like serving the light. But you still have to maintain, trillions of minions. But at the same time, when called upon, he does do the right thing. So he showed me that she needs to unravel. That he's letting go already right now. He's releasing all agreements and contracts with her, oaths, promises, allegiances. So he's setting her free. Now I'm just going to go ahead and pull that energy right out of her subconscious. Those agreements and contracts that she made also. With that, allegiances, promises, yeah, oaths. Mm-hmm. Good. Clear. And then also I'm going to pull that frequency off of her. There we go. Clear. Be gone. Whew. Good. There we go. Wow, nice. Good. Now I'm going to blow out her third eye a little bit. There we go. There we go. Mm-hmm. Good. Okay. So that's going to make a difference, but it should be good for her to still, kind of just check, do some tracking, unraveling, and get that stuff cleaned up, because she's definitely needed. What she offers is needed.
Wow. Okay. Next question is Bonnie talk about what happened after she did the technology woes, in quotes, clearing? I have always been curious about this.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Okay. So I don't know if she was there on that particular clearing, but that all hell broke loose, Jimmy. What happened was okay. What happened is all this, there's all this interference, okay? And it's all this static, and it's creating all kinds of havoc and technology, blah, blah, blah. And then there's all this alien stuff. All these aliens, it's like alien and government are all working together. So yep. I'm tracking it, and I'm doing this thing. I'm doing a group clearing, and all of a sudden, here's these friggin' aliens, and they presented, and I grabbed 3 of them, and I cast them down into eternal darkness. I didn't let go. I kept a little thread. I knew, okay? I didn't let go, but I cast them, and then freak out. And so what happened was I was leaving in a couple of days out of the country. And so I'm leaving, going out of the country, all hell breaks loose at our house, our whole company, every email, hundreds, everything, we were like days and days and days trying to deal with the onslaught, the what happened, and because they got pissed, like friggin' pissed at me, so they whacked us big time. So anyway, I'm leaving, and it's like days of them trying to get everything so we're restored, and
they attacked your website? Is that what they did?
They got my email, everything. Our whole email system crashed, everything. It was like crazy. It took days. And then I go, I leave the country, and then I'm tuning in. So I decided, okay, it's time I made a deal with the guys. I told them, okay, I'm going to bring your guys back. We make a deal. You stop attacking me. So Jimmy, oh my God. So I pull these 3 guys out. Oh my God, I felt so bad. They were like ravaged. They were like so traumatized. So I had to do a massive unraveling and helping them. One of them literally woke up. Okay, now these are alien beings, but one of them literally woke up. And that being was, really just let me know that if this hadn't happened, he would never woke up. So he was totally cool with it. The other 2, yeah, the other 2,
mad. The other 2 were pissed off. Huh?
Yeah, they were pissed. Yeah, so I cleared them, did a lot of clearing on them, stabilized them. But what I really got Jimmy. See, I never let go of anybody, and I've only let go one time in my whole life of sending something into eternal darkness. Okay, so I know that it's traumatizing. So I throw them down there for 3 seconds, pull them up, and they come out looking like they've been ravaged. Okay, it's not cool. So so having them in there for 2 days, they came out. I mean, they were traumatized. Okay, so I, like I said, I made the agreement. We came to a truce. They would leave me alone, leave our technology alone. I mean, Jimmy, it's massive. I have to tell you, it's massive. The whole planet is interfered with these frequencies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So by bringing their guys back, their 3 back, and then helping to stabilize them and all that, then so we're neutral. We're good. We're neutral. So that's what happened. It was intense. It was crazy intense.
Yeah. That's very interesting.
That's what happened.
All right. So I got another question from the chat room here. This is from Homa. I'm dealing with a lot of scarcity in my life right now, financially, relationship. Although I'm working, I've never been able to have income. I have to always work as a volunteer. I'd appreciate it if Bonnie would find core causes of that.
Pull what back? Core what?
Well, she wants to know the core cause of why she can't make money. She always ends up working as a volunteer.
Oh, okay, all right. Let me just look at that one. Yeah, see, here's another person. If anybody's got abilities, if you just look at this energy frequency, there's massive energy interferences in the entire energy field, everywhere inside, on all levels, many levels, okay? So what's going on is you got, like, if I go into the subconscious, that's where I'm going to go first. Go into the subconscious, and I'm going to look to see, what are your beliefs? What are your conclusions? What are you holding on to, okay? So you've done things in past lives where you feel like you deserve to suffer for all eternity. You've got that anchored in. You've got it anchored in. Hang on. Oh, punished. Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. So what's that word? When you beat yourself, what's it called, Jimmy? The self-flagellation or something? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's got that anchored in. She's got entities that are also got that anchored, that are doing that. And see, this is the problem, people. You think it all starts in this lifetime. It does not. It all started in the past lives. You got to unravel your past lives. If you don't, you're going to think you're a victim, okay? So in her energy field, I'm also finding... Okay, so she's got a lot of, she's self-inflicting, hurting herself from past lives. That's anchored in the subconscious. The not deserving, to suffer for all eternity. I mean, it's massive.
Whoa.
Massive, okay? So, it's not so simple little thing like, oh, I'm going to listen to a clearing on, money. No, this is like dark force interferences, atrocities that you have done, and conclusions and beliefs that you got anchored in, your guilt and all of that is all swirling inside. It's always moving. It's always there. So, it's like you need, this has to be cleaned up. You got to clean this stuff up. And it's, it can be done. It absolutely can be done, but you got to do it, so I would get on it. I'd be like, okay, I go get a clearing, and if you can't afford a full on clearing, then we dropped our prices, so you get a mini clearing through we have our, what do you call it, the clinic, and you can get a clearing, for $37. Okay, 15 minutes and a lot can get done. So for those who don't have money, we got free stuff, but also the clinic. You can get. My team does amazing work. And it's cheap, But that's what I would do, sweetie. I would definitely be on this, because this is stuff you're not going to unravel through meditation or prayer or any of that kind of stuff. This is hardcore dark energy interferences because of past lives. And you've drawn conclusions, and you've got beliefs, and you've got them anchored in, and they're running your life. You're creating your life from your subconscious, as we all are, and you can tell what your subconscious believes by what your life is. What's your life doing? What are you doing in your world? What's your world look like? That's what you're creating from your subconscious, people. Everyone needs to understand that. You are co-creating your life 100% every day of your life, every moment of your life. And if you're not liking it, then you better start looking inside and stop making it about anybody else, because you are creator incarnate, divine being in a physical body right here on planet Earth, creating your reality all the time. So unravel the past, unravel this stuff. It's
this
deep.
becomes self-sabotaging.
Oh yeah.
But it so much of it is hidden. It's
Yes.
subconscious.
Right.
We're just not aware of these things at all.
No, you can't be. Yeah, you can't be. That's part of what happens. It's in the subconscious. We carry it from our soul imprint. Whatever you have done, whatever you've anchored in, you're going to carry it forward. The biggest imprint into the soul is the emotional impact. So when you've had past lives and you had big experiences that were emotionally charged and you didn't release that charge from your physical body, you anchor it into the soul imprint and you bring it to the next lifetime, and then you recreate to try and discharge it again, and then you don't do it again, and this goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on indefinitely. So it's like people, it's like it's important that you understand you are creating your reality. No one's doing it to you. You're not a victim. No one's punishing you. You are punishing you. You're the one doing it. So if you get a grip on this and face it, then you get empowered, and then you can go back and, unravel this stuff, because it can all be unraveled. It can be unraveled and cleared, people. You can be freed. I guarantee it.
I think where a lot of people kind of lose it on this is that they sort of think to themselves, well, in my waking state, in my conscious, everyday walking around state, I don't see any of this stuff. So, it can't be that I have all this, right?
Right.
They can't perceive it. So they think, well, how could that be? Or how can I have this? But they don't have the tools to find it, to be able to see it, to deal with it. And that's what I think, if nothing else, everybody needs to take that away as something learned today, is that, including myself, is that, we've all got this stuff. And so we need to find people that are highly skilled in these areas that can help us. And of course, this type of, I would call it a technology or a method. I'm not sure how you would refer to it, but the dark side certainly doesn't want people to be able to have these tools. They don't want you to be able to get rid of this, because they're working from a different frequency that we're not aware of.
Right.
And they like what they're doing, and they're having their way with us, right?
Oh yeah, they feed off that negativity. They feed off your suffering. Okay.
Yeah.
They feed off of it. But the thing is, people, is like what Jimmy's saying, you will never know consciously what's in your subconscious. You can't. It's not possible. But your subconscious is holding everything from all your past lives, even from your bloodline. It's all in your physical body, in the subconscious. And you need either, most people can't do it themselves, so we need each other. We need each other to help each other, and the eyes of someone else to clearly be able to go in and unravel what needs to be unraveled. Otherwise, you're just going to keep being feeling like you're a victim, because you're disempowered and there's nothing you can do, because you don't have the tools or the know-how or the training to work at these levels. So you need an expert. You need, I'm serious, you need an expert. That's it.
Absolutely. So, and why would you settle for anything less, right? I mean, this is important stuff here we're talking about. This is not just your everyday, I stubbed my toe and I need a Band-Aid or something. This is serious.
This is your life. This is your life.
Okay? Yeah.
This is it. This is your life. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to say hi to Pam. I'm not going to say her last name because I think we both know her, but
we know her.
Pam is asking, hi, Pam. My daughter keeps falling in love with narcissists. I know about wounding, but this must be a past life. Could you focus on what frequency is tied to this attraction? Thank you. And hi, Jimmy. Oh, thanks, Pam.
Yeah. Okay, Pam. Your daughter. Okay, hang on a second. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. Oh, yep. So just so you know, she's got frequencies, she's got implants in her for sure. And she's also got, she's made some pretty big contracts. Hang on. This is from past lives. Yeah. She's trying to unravel this, Pam. She hasn't done it yet, but this is what this is all about. She keeps pulling them in so she can unravel it. So she's got past lives, something she was in a relationship. Wait, hang on a second. How far back? 2 or 3 lifetimes ago with a narcissist. It was ugly. Hang on a second. Hang on. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What was that? What was that? What happened? Was she killed? She was. Whoa. Okay, so she was killed. I think he strangled her. All right. So she's got it really anchored in. She's trying to unravel it, Pam. So that's what needs to happen. And so it would be great to get her a clearing or have her get a clearing and release that frequency, get her cleared from the whatever she needed to learn, whatever she was trying to gain from that, but just clear that frequency out of her. But there is an implant in her whole solar plexus, and she's also got it anchored in, and she's trying to unravel it. There's a trauma in there, a pretty big trauma in her that she's still trying to deal with, but doesn't know it. You know what I mean? So you got to deal with it at a different level. But that's what I see, and that's what I would encourage you to do.
All right. Another thing that I was kind of curious about is when you are sort of scanning someone, do you ever get drawn into other realms, other worlds, other places that people incarnate in? You go on journeys to places that just seem crazy, or are they very similar to this world?
Yeah.
Or both?
Yeah, all the time, like daily.
Okay.
Yeah. I remember the first time. This was back in the. Let me think. This was back in the early mid '80s, and when I first saw this planet where there were these insects, I'm thinking to myself, this can't be real. Because they were huge, like bigger than people's insects, intelligent insects. And it's for real. And then I found what I call the dragon world. I was doing an entity removal one time, and this was a trip, Jimmy. This was also that same time period. This was like in 1980, 86, 87, and it was the same guy that I took too many entities out of. Okay, he was like, bring him back, but it was a trip because he was like, okay, back then I did it differently, but I'm asking questions, and then he said to me, because I said, "There's someone here. Can you talk to me?" And he said, "Yeah." And he says to me, "Wait a second, back. Okay, so he's not from here. He's from another planet." And he told me he was the Emerald Prince. I even have this recording still to this day. And he said, "You humans disgust me." And I moved away because I could feel this thing wanted to hurt me, So I backed away, and then I saw the planet, and I called this being his master, and I called him down. And then we tried to get the thing's trying to get out of the body. I can't get out, so we had to help him get out. But he looked like a dragon, and my friend drew it. I have it here. I have the drawing here of the dragon. I didn't tell him what I saw. He told me, and he drew it. So yeah, so that was the dragon world. I mean, wow. Jimmy, it's crazy. I have been so many time, space, dimension, galaxies, universes, dimensions, realms, so many, and every place is different. It's such a trip. And then finding, you and different people in different places, different planets. I take people back to the people that are here that don't feel like they're home. They want to go home. They can't land here. We have a whole process to help them. And I, take them back to their planet, let them see what happened, and then we bring something back and help them so they can be here because they made an agreement to be here. So yeah, there's all kinds of really crazy, awesome, unbelievable things out there. Like you just can't, your mind can't comprehend it. But yeah, I'm traversing all the time.
Well, I hear a lot of people talk about crystal cities and things like that.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
I was wondering, are there any in our world, any crystal cities that are perhaps underground or?
Yeah, well, some aren't even underground. Well, not cities. There's like even in Crestone has what's Quartz Crystal Mountain. That's pretty cool. A lot of frequency, a lot of energy in that place. Hang on a second. Yeah, there's like, on the planet, there are like crystal cities, but they're more on an energy level. They're not like alive, like, you know what I mean, like our density, our physical body. Right. Yeah, so there's a couple of those on our planet, but there are other dimensions that there's truly I mean, I'm looking at one right now. It's like this beautiful crystal frequencies and lots of different than here, completely different, but very potent, very powerful. The frequency vibration of these places is pretty high, like really high, and like even the is it the Pleiadians or Syrians, Pleiadians, but those beings they have like they work with crystals. They do surgeries and stuff with crystal. Like the different like I said, different than ours, but they're like light crystal. They got lots of potency and power in them. So there's just it's just crazy. I mean, it's just sometimes it's like, are you serious? Is this for real?
I can
Yeah,
only
it is.
imagine. Well, I'm sure that your world never gets boring. You're constantly going on little excursions, right?
Yeah, constant. I
That's
mean, every time, it doesn't matter. Like even today, I did a group clearing. Today was on, what was it? Oh, Prisoner to Your Judgments. Oh my
oh,
God, you guys, if you that one, yeah, that was so profound. Seriously, but yeah, all over the place, all kinds of stuff presented. I had an archangel present, which rarely happens, and we pulled this membrane out of people that keeps them separated from their divinity, from that divine being that they actually are. And the archangel, I asked, why'd you do this? He goes, well, I was commanded to do it. It's like, why do you think I did it? So, yeah,
that's
yeah,
awesome. All right.
yeah,
Once again, Bonnie, we're up against the break. We're going to take
yeah,
a
yeah.
short pause right here. We got one more segment coming up. So everybody stick around. This is really fascinating stuff. You're listening to Inside the Matrix with our special guest, Bonnie Serratore. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back, everybody, for our final segment of this show with our special guest, Bonnie Serratore. Now, Bonnie, we were talking on the break there about something that's always intrigued me. And if you don't mind, I'd like to ask you again about, so that you could share it with our audience, about the hierarchy of this world and how you view it, and kind of maybe give us an idea of how you see things going on right now, how they may be progressing either in the good way or maybe not so good way. How do you see where we're at right now?
Okay, so I'll just share something first. I was shown this time period back in the 70s. A lot happened for me back then, but I was shown that all the natural disasters, all the darkness, all the people dying by the thousands, all that kind of stuff would be happening. So I've been kind of like watching the planet, watching everything evolve to where we are right now. So okay, so there are frequencies, there are beings, there are energies on the planet itself that have been implanted here. There are people walking around in the world that have alien beings in them, living through them. There's people that really want to, not destroy the world, but on some level impact the world so that there's more enslavement rather than freedom.
Hmm.
So there's all of that happening. And if you look at the government, like people that have any intuitive abilities, if you just look at the White House and look at the people that are dealing with stuff like in the House of Representatives, the Senate, things of that nature. I used to have a client that was in the White House, and this is when I really saw all this stuff. But there's so much blackness in there. It's like trying to move through tar to try to get anything positive done, it becomes impossible. So there's all kinds of energy frequencies, beings that are keeping stuff stuck, keeping stuff down. And then, with the, also the entire planet, we have a serious situation happening, and, it's we're not going to change it. You got too many people with strong beings inside of them running the show that are wanting to destroy things, wanting to destroy the environment, things that we need for the well-being of the planet and humanity itself. So that's continuing. It's getting, in fact, they're getting, like it's getting more visible, which is good. But the light also is getting stronger too. So it's kind of like that, the light and the dark. But it's going to get darker before it starts to get better, and we're going to see a lot of. You're on some level. This. It's already happening. You start losing the ability to grow food. You start having polluted water, things of that nature. It's all happening. The oceans. Okay. So wait. Okay. I saw something years ago. This was, I think it was in like 2009, 2010, somewhere in there. I was shown that the glaciers, that the glaciers are going to melt faster than they predicted, and they're now discovering that everything's melting faster than they ever thought. They were saying, oh yeah, 30 years, whatever. No, it's happening now, and it's going to get accelerated. And so there's going to be a lot of earth changes, and a lot of devastation, a lot of damage. But basically, we've got beings on the planet that are actually not human, and we've got beings on the planet that are trying to help, which is a good thing. So like I said, there's like a major struggle happening right now between these on the astral planes, on the inner planes, and then also, like I said, in people's bodies. So when they take over someone's body who has power, then they can do a lot of damage. If you look at the person running our country right now, if you look at his energy field, you'll see that it's that's actually the being, the actual human, the soul human, or the soul of that body. It's like there's all kinds of frequencies in that energy field, and the grandiose that's happening is just going to create even more damage. So, people, you can't really change what's happening. We're like on this, like a snowball kind of thing. It's running downhill. And for me, in my world, it's always about, it's about the peace within. It's about being at peace within our own selves. And by clearing, in the kind of work that I do and what I've done for years, it clears us in such a way that it doesn't matter what's going on externally. We can still be centered and at peace within. And that's what you got to live with. Who wants to be in trauma and worry and stress and freak out all the time? What good does it do? You're not going to change anything. You can't change the bigger picture, so to speak. But what you can do is you can change your own inner world, and in that you do have peace. And the truth is we're all co-creating together. We're all divine beings, and same in you, same in me. And it's really about waking up. So who are you really? Who are you? That's the question I'd be asking. Who am I? And you're a divine being. And, I do these experiences where I can take you into yourself and show you how expanded you are. And it's like a game changer. It changes your reality. You start to realize, whoa, I am eternal. I'm not just limited to this world. I'm eternal. How cool is that? So, yeah,
so it's almost like we're on a cruise or something, or a kind of reminds me of the movie Total Recall, where we have an experience on another world, and we're sort of adventurers in some way, wouldn't you say? That we incarnate in different places and have these experiences.
Oh my goodness, yeah. It's true. We are adventurers. I mean, when you look at how many lifetimes people have had and where they've been and what they've lived, what they've experienced, it's massive. It's truly massive. It's just that we don't remember. I mean, I do have memory of some of my past lives, which is cool, but most people don't. They don't really know. So yeah, everyone's in big adventurers. And what a trip to be here on the planet. I mean, it's one of the most astounding experiences ever, is being on planet Earth. I mean, it's such a beautiful, gorgeous place, and the beauty here is just astounding. And, why not enjoy what in this physical realm that we're in, focus on the beauty and what's really, all of the gorgeousness. And because we're not going to stop what I've been trying, Jimmy, trust me. Okay. I've been looking for the way to stop things, but I can't. Okay. So it's not going to happen. It's bigger than me. And It's part of the divine plan unfolding. It's all part of what has to happen. So, why not be in a good place with it all? Why not be at peace with it all? Why not be where we really get and know deep in the core of our being that it's all perfect? It's all in the divine plan, and it's perfect unfolding, and everything's right on track. There's nothing wrong, nothing bad. It's all perfect. And then we get to, enjoy our lives and have a blast, living our life. What else are you going to do?
Yeah. Well, I think when you realize that those who are actually running things, well, first of all, I think most of them that are actually running things aren't even in our physical perception, and they're certainly not on the nightly news, because they're either inhabiting these people or influencing them in some way. And these are just basically the talking heads that are out there, trying to, put forward some kind of agenda that people can buy into. And of course, you see the game. It's always about creating fear, creating all these anxiety things in people, never-ending war, and fighting all the time, because these entities, as you said, feed on this stuff. So they're going to constantly create that. And they have 100,000 different ways to do it.
Oh, yeah.
And so,
and the implant thing, like as you're talking, I'm just tracking some of these people that are running the country, so to speak, and they got implants in them. And people, you have no idea the power of these implants. They can affect how you think, how your emotions are, your reactions, your beliefs. They completely control you with these implants, for real. And I can see clearly, I'm just looking at it right now, all these people, I can see them running around like, up in the people that are in those high places, and they're just puppets doing the command. Like I'm looking at these other frequencies of other beings. They're looking at me right now, right in my eyes. Yeah, I see you. You see me. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah. So and it's like there's nothing I'm going to do about it. I can't stop it, and they're just controlling. There's like the puppet, make them do this, make them do that, make them. Yeah, it's just like it's crazy. And I know it's like people have a hard time believing it, but seeing is believing, and I'm seeing.
Yeah, well, you can see. That's wonderful. I think it would be game over if we could all see. then there's no place to hide for these beings that are creating chaos in our world, right?
No.
Yeah.
No, there's no place to hide. No.
I've got a question for you that I've always been curious about, and lots of people offer answers to this, but I don't know, and maybe you can shed some light on it for us. When somebody leaves the physical body and passes on, dies, whatever you want to call it, where do people go? Is there an astral realm where they go, or is it different for every person? How does that work once you leave? Now, I understand that it's kind of a relief once you get out of the body, because then you realize, if you're conscious, that is, that hey, well, I'm glad that crap's over with. It's like now I can move on.
Yeah. Okay. That's a great question. Yeah. Did you have something else to say?
No, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. So I used to teach. In fact, I still do. But people. Okay. So your belief, what you believe right now, you're co-creating with other people with same similar beliefs. Okay. So when there is an actual place that's called heaven. There's an actual place called hell. There's the purgatory. There's all the all the different spiritual beings, all the different religions and their belief systems. All of those exist. Okay. There's also what I call the dead zone, and where you'll find thousands of people laying as though they're dead. Those are the people who have no beliefs at all, that they believe that when you die, it's over, there's nothing, okay? And then, the light comes for everyone, and you're met and greeted by, high-level beings, sometimes loved ones, whatever, and what's happening is you go where you are your beliefs, okay? And then from there, ultimately, in order to reincarnate, we need to go home. We need to go home. We need to go back into the light, into the oneness, where we drop all of our images. Like even when we die, we're still holding on to the frequency of what we looked like. Okay, so that's why when we see our loved ones, we go, oh, there's grandma. Oh, there's my aunt. That's because they're still holding on to. They're still attached to the physical body that they had in this lifetime. But ultimately, what happens is once they do all that initial go ahead and believe you go to heaven, or go ahead and believe you go to hell, or, whatever. And then you're going to be, you'll hang there for a bit, but most of the time people will start to move out of that and go into what I call the light, in which is the pure frequency of awareness, consciousness itself, which is creation itself. And this is where we go and we make our agreements, but you're not seeing people. It's like, it'd be like us, like right now, Jimmy, think about this, okay? This is something everyone can do right now. So when you are thinking about something, like right now, I want you just to be aware of, okay? Be aware of what you're looking at. Just have the awareness that your awareness is aware of the visual that you're looking at. Now, be aware, have the awareness, not just hearing me, but have the awareness that you are hearing me. You have the awareness of my voice, okay?
Right.
We are aware. That awareness is the same awareness. We all are that same awareness, okay? Take that in. Okay, so that awareness that's the state we go into when we're making agreements and contracts. There is no physical, it's just pure awareness. It has no, there's no visions, there's nothing but pure awareness. It's a state of consciousness. And that's where we literally make our agreements. So when you think about people, even right now, if you start realizing that, oh, Jimmy and I, we got the same awareness, man. We're sharing the same awareness right now. And so is everybody else. That awareness that you have is the same awareness I have. We are all the same awareness. It's awareness. All sentient beings are aware, and it's the same awareness. Even the critters, they don't realize that they have awareness, but they are aware. That awareness is the same. We are all the same awareness. So
that would be the I am.
Yes, you got it. Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. So you can start cultivating your own relationship with your own self, with your own awareness, and then with that, you're having the awareness that of everyone, the same awareness. But yeah, so that's where we make our agreements and contracts. But yeah, so it's a belief system, Jimmy. It's like whatever we're believing, then we've co-created these dimensions, these realities, and that's where we go. And then we will leave those, and then ultimately, and I mean, there's those who don't, of course. They stay on the planet, or they stay locked in or trapped in these places. But ultimately, the majority of us all, reincarnate, so we make new agreements and contracts to unravel the same old stuff that we never unraveled, 500 lifetimes ago, that we've been doing over and over and over, and trying to unravel it this time.
So it's a good idea to be the observer, in other words. So we're having the awareness that we're a divine spark inhabiting a meat suit, right? And be able to sort of step back from our everyday walking around consciousness and kind of observe ourselves in the world and have that sort of perspective, because it takes a lot of the sting out of the everyday crap if you're able to kind of step back and take a much broader view of the events that are happening in front of you, right?
Right. Yeah. And if you cultivate your connection with your own self, like, for example, if you take your awareness right now, and if you kind of come in, pull your awareness in, like you're going to come right to the very core of your being, of your physical body. In there, this is where your consciousness is, and your divine frequency. But this is also that place within that is untouchable. This is where you can feel you're eternal. So when we rest within, we come in and we go to that. It's almost like a quiet kind of frequency, a gentle, soft frequency, a quietness and pure awareness. When we rest in that cultivating that connection, this is the part of you that's eternal. This is the part of you that's never going to die. No one's going to destroy it. Nothing can touch it. Nothing can hurt you. Nothing can harm you in this place. So even though the physical body can be harmed, this is you that's eternal. If you cultivate that, then more and more whatever happens externally, you will not be affected by it, because you will be resting in, living in, relaxing into your own eternalness, which is your divinity. And you'll start to discover, this is what I told you earlier, Jimmy, about, when I would go traversing and see what things could hurt me. When I found this, it was like, this is eternal. Nothing can touch this. And it's that place too of where we expand out into pure awareness. So I would encourage people to cultivate your own connection with your own divinity right inside of your own physical body.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. And I'm always blabbering on about all the mind boxes that are put out there for us. We've got the religions, we've got all these different school systems, family traditions, cultures, whatever. These are all putting our minds in little boxes. And this is what makes it easy for the dark side to pit us against each other because, well, my box is better than yours. My God's better than yours. My religion's better than yours. So then the ego becomes enmeshed in all these mind boxes, the way I call them. Yeah. And, you've got these priests and preachers and these gurus out there trying to control people for their own benefit. At the same time, they're telling them, oh, yes, stick around with me. You'll become enlightened. No, you won't. No, you will become a servant of them.
Yeah. I've never seen one person completely wake up by sitting with any guru, any teacher, any supposedly enlightened one. I've never seen one person wake up.
No, it's almost impossible because
it's impossible.
Yeah, they're drawing you into their little mind box, and that's something I've tried to. I have some people very close to me that I try and explain that to, but once somebody's been fully indoctrinated, it's really hard for them to sort of break out of that.
Oh yeah. I don't even bother, Jimmy. I don't even bother. Like you can feel when someone's got their mindset, their belief structures, all of that. It's like let them have it. And then if I really want to help someone, I'll wait till they die. And I'm not joking. I mean it because once they leave the body, they're easier to work with. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Yep, because they don't have all the distractions, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now we're getting close to the end of this show, Bonnie, and I want you to talk about your seminar. Tell us where it's at. Give us the details on it, and how people can find out more about it.
Okay, yeah, I'm so excited. I was given this information, the guidance from the light, from creation itself to do this. So it's called the Liberation Tour, and it's in Las Vegas, Nevada. Our first one will be at the Orleans, and it starts on meet and greet is Thursday night, and then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is the seminar. But basically, we have a workbook for people, and what's going to happen is we're going to expose beliefs, major beliefs. So there'll be clearings, boom, 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 throughout every single day. There's going to be little breakout and little groups of maybe 5 people, and you're going to have opportunities to help each other to discover even more of your beliefs, because we got to get these beliefs out of the subconscious. All these limiting beliefs are affecting your world. So every day there's little processes, little experiences, demos, and teachings, and clearings throughout every single day. And the first one this particular one is on reactions and responses. So, people, when you think about how often you're having a reaction, and, you have a reaction and you got this chart, your body is all whacked and you're all upset, and you can be, having a reaction for days. What would life be like if you were no longer having reactions? Okay, so that's what this is about. Is we're going to start releasing, finding all these beliefs, all these anchored into your subconscious, and what's affecting you, and how you're creating your reality. We're also going to be taking you on, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take people into an experience where they're going to meet their higher levels. They're going to meet their super consciousness, their God self. They're also going to come in and start to discover and feel their divinity, pull people into the core of their body. So I'm literally pulling people in and guiding them and helping them to discover who they really are. And then we're going to really, really start exposing and discovering like what's controlling people's world, what's controlling your life, your beliefs, your conclusions that are in your subconscious. So we're going to be clearing out massive amounts of subconscious beliefs and programming that are affecting your whole reality. And I mean, it's going to be profound, like seriously life-changing, profound. So
and this will be in one of the ballrooms at the Orleans?
Yeah, it'll be in one of the rooms. I guess I don't know what they're called. I guess they're
or event rooms. Yeah,
event room. Yeah, event room.
So where do people go to sign up?
Oh, you can go to the website. Go to the website, Spiritual Acceleration Liberation Tour. It's right there, first page. You'll see when you go there. It's on the first page. Liberation Tour. It's gonna be a game changer. It'll change your life drastically.
I am sure of that. That's so awesome. Bonnie, thank you so much for sharing with us today. This has been a super exciting show. I know for me, I'm so stoked now. I've been re-inspired to do other things. So thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. Yeah. You've been listening to Inside the Matrix. Check out Bonnie's website, and If you can go, I'm sure you'll really be happy that you did. Anyway, until next week, everybody have a wonderful time. Enjoy life, and we'll see you then. Take care.
This is Inside the Matrix, hosted by Jimmy Brent.
Who are we talking about?
Jimmy Brent. Live every Sunday, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. Exclusively on the KCOR Digital Radio Network.
It is worldwide.
Broadcasting from an undisclosed location deep within the neon capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada. For more information on the host and the show, please visit InsideTheMatrix.org. That's InsideTheMatrix.org. It's time to break the chains of manipulated consciousness and claim our true nature as creative divine beings. Inside the Matrix. Inside the Matrix.
This is KCOR Las Vegas, home of the Digital Radio Network, broadcasting from a shack just south of Area 51.
Wait, that doesn't exist.
This is the KCOR Digital Radio Network. Now for the news.